Everybody ready?
Cool. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sweet.
So hold on one sec. When are we rolling the intro? Because you've been like pushing the intro back and back.
Yeah, fair.
We're like after the first question, we finally do it.
Okay, so I'll just call out the movie Podium, and then I'll say.
What if I just hold on? I got a wild idea. What if I just roll the intro and then at the end of it we just go into the episode?
Okay. Welcome to the Movie Podium. In this episode, we continue our Movie Podium with Friends series with one of our favorite action movies that will blow you through the back of the wall of the theater. And without further ado, we present our next movie.
Bruce Willis, Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
So, I've been throwing in taglines to introduce the movie. That was the tagline, the back wall of the theater.
What?
That's
really?
Literally the tagline of the movie, or one of. I don't know if it's in the back or on the poster there, but...
Let me look.
Yes.
It looks like it's just the intro of the storyline.
I don't see any
I
theater.
saw the
it says 12 terrorists, 1 cop. The odds are against John McClane. That's just the way he likes it.
I like that one
His
better.
favorite.
Yeah, that's much
I think Matt's
better.
making this up. It's a random ass fact.
A random ass fact.
That's right. I swear I saw it. Well, I'm your host, Matt Scott, and I'm here with my dudes, Eric.
Hello, that's me.
Cooking with Kevin.
That's me.
Cooking with Kevin.
And our guest of the evening, Klarissa, from I've Seen That One on Instagram. How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Thank you for being
Doing
here.
well.
Let's round of applause.
Yeah, round of applause.
Thank you.
Round of applause. Don't
Stop
do
it.
this.
Stop it.
Oh, also,
Well, thank
like
you so
your-
much for
your
having
caption.
me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love your caption.
Oh,
we're
thank you.
Yeah, we're obviously excited to have you on. We love your Instagram page. We love that we know that there's a million movies out there, and none of us have seen them all, right? I mean, there's too many movies. So what made you start your movie journey, and what do you have planned for 2025?
So I started this probably 3 or 4 years ago. I just didn't do it online. I've always loved movies. I grew up watching old movies, and my parents are really into movies. So I grew up with a few classics, but I'm pretty censored. We didn't really watch a ton of known classics. And I had 2 people for Christmas give me best 100 movies of all time scratch up posters in the same Christmas. And they were like, I just really thought you would like this poster. And I was like, okay, so I'm clearly getting a hint here. I had only seen probably 20 of those 100 movies. And I was wow, I really thought I was well versed. Well, it's not. So I was like, I think it's time to kick this into gear. And I started making a huge list, and it just became like this massive passion. And I think everyone in my life that really loves me got kind of tired of oh my gosh, I watched Braveheart today and I need to talk to you about it. And so I was like, I need to find my people, and I found them here.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so it's been fun. Yeah.
I know you've listened to a few of our podcasts, so the next, I think you kind of know the drill. We get into random ass facts. As we do, the first random ass fact is that it got an 8.2 or a Thor plus 1.2 on IMDb.
That's a
Pretty
high
good.
score. A high Thor.
It's a very high score. A high Thor. Oh.
A high Thor.
Yep, high Thor.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, Clarissa, I don't know if you are aware, but we watched Thor a while back, and it was just a normal I guess this movie's okay, and it got a 7 on IMDb. So we started comparing things to Thor, and so now we introduce the movies on a Thor scale, which is
I love it.
plus or minus whatever according to 7.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw that, because I actually think it deserves that, but I didn't anticipate that everybody would rate it at that high. Like I expected maybe like a 7.5 ish, maybe.
Sure.
But
Or
4 or
over
8.
4 or 5.
Yeah, I do agree with that. So, all right. So I'm hoping I only have a couple facts. I think you guys probably have some other facts. So I was like, all right, I'll just get a few and let everybody else roll too. I know Klarissa has some, and Kevin usually surprises me with a few. So I'll start with, we'll see, unless I steal them. So the first one that I have is that this movie is actually a sequel to the 1968 movie The Detective, a 1968 Frank Sinatra film. Apparently, Fox was contractually obligated to offer Sinatra the role, but luckily he was in his 70s and turned it down. Could you imagine Frank Sinatra in his 70s playing John McClane?
Jumping down through the vents?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, I would have respected that, but wow.
Sure.
Don't know if it would have worked.
Right. Or, there's got to be a believability scale, and Bruce Willis had it for sure at that time.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra was self-aware that he could not play this role and turned that down.
Yeah, for sure.
I had no idea it was a sequel, though.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Based on some books.
Okay, I was going to say that doesn't compute in my brain because I don't think of that whenever I think of Die Hard.
No. Yeah. But, I mean, if you think about it, kind of makes sense because, I mean, there's got to be some background on him. He's
that's true.
Big, He's a pretty big badass for not knowing anything about him, right? So it makes a little bit of sense of, hey, this guy just killed 10 people. Like, he had to be good before that, right?
Probably. I mean, to go off of that is they actually rewrote the script a little bit because John McClane was actually supposed to be a retired cop, like in the novel.
Okay.
And they rewrote it to where he wasn't, to make him a younger, more spry action movie.
Well, he was like 60 in the novel, and the whole thing was that he had a 40-year-old daughter instead of a wife in the building, and she like plummets to her death. Like the 40-year-old daughter dies, and they were like, so instead of having a 60-year-old with a 40-year-old daughter, we're gonna have a guy with his wife. And actually, I hope this doesn't steal a fact, but the original writer of the script, he had gotten in a fight with his wife, and then left, got on the freeway, and in the middle of the freeway, there was a refrigerator box. And he had no time to swerve, and he plowed right through it, thought he was going to die. The box was empty. Anyway, he realized, he said, I needed to go and have a second chance to say sorry to my wife. And he was like, and that's what we need John McClane to have, is this moment of, I need to learn to say sorry, and something needs to like spark that in me. And that refrigerator box for the writer did that. So kind of really random ass fact. But shout out to that refrefrigerator box.
Wow. That's cool.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That reference
I don't know what I would have done.
That references a similar thing to our previous interviewee, but he was talking about a random idea, and then you just spawn from that idea.
Yeah,
That's
weird.
Would
You're
know this,
right.
but we'll check that out with Eddie Yellen.
Yeah. Last week we did Uncut Gems with a fellow who,
fun.
Great movie, and he's a up and coming director, writer, actor. In that episode he does talk a lot about just coming up with an idea and it spawning this entire movie. So that's really cool to hear that. It's really kind of weird.
That's really funny. What are the odds?
Yeah, that is.
That's fun.
So another Bruce Willis fact, he was not the second or third banana here, but the sixth banana. They tried getting Arnold, Burt Reynolds, Stallone, Harrison Ford, and even Richard Gere.
You almost threw me off with the banana thing. I was like, what is he talking about bananas for?
I had a longer list than that I saw that turned it down.
Really?
I had Richard Gere, Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Clint Eastwood, because apparently he owned the rights to it.
Yeah, I did see that.
Robert De Niro, Charles Bronson, Don Johnson, Richard Dean Anderson, Burt Reynolds, and then Michael Madsen. They all declined this role.
Are you serious?
Crazy. Yeah, that's
crazy.
It's a long list. Very, very, very long list.
That is crazy. Yeah. And he was, 33 when this came out? his story is kind of cool, and there's even a reference. I don't know the exact line. Maybe you guys remember, but there's something about like, hey, maybe you should have been maybe he says I should have been a bartender, or somebody calls him a bartender. Well, Bruce Willis actually was a bartender before he started acting, and he didn't actually have an acting role until he was 25. So he was a bartender and then kind of started being in some movies and wasn't really a full movie star until his late 20s, early 30s. So if there's any hope for anybody out there, he's one of those random
Keep
guys.
Dreaming. You can do
right,
it.
Right.
Yeah.
He wasn't a 10-year-old child star into this and that. So kind of a cool thing. But there was a quote in there that I heard, and it was about being a bartender. It's like, oh, that's got to be a reference to him, of course. So that wasn't on IMDb, but that was my own random aspect.
That was the baby is gonna come out ready to 10 bar.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, yeah.
It. Good call.
Think this baby can handle a sip?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep. And then my last one is, speaking of roles, this was Alan Rickman's first major studio role. He was a stage actor in London before this. Pretty wild too, right?
Yeah.
Being the major villain.
He did so well.
I mean, seriously, one of the best villains, I think, in movie history thus far. Like, if you're talking top 100, Hans Gruber is just so iconic.
Yeah.
To add to that, he actually didn't want to take the role because he didn't want to be typecast as a villain. Well, whoops. Professor Snape, that guy in Robin Hood, who I don't remember.
The guy in Love Actually who cheats on his wife.
Oh, such a weenie.
Yeah.
But he's just a weenie. but he's just so great.
He's so good.
So great. So it's like, sorry, but your voice is so deep and you just have that like menacing stare. He's an awesome guy. Like, he was so funny, but he's a villain. Like, he just did so well. But he almost said no, and it was only, I think, his second day in Hollywood. And when they offered him this role.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Some people have all the luck.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
I had one casting what if for Hans, and it was actually Sam Neill turned down this, or Dr. Grant.
Really?
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Really?
Love Sam Neill.
Yeah.
He's
apparently he turned down this role. I saw that on a couple sources.
I can
see it.
I would have liked him.
So those are all my facts.
I have a few more.
Yes,
go for it. The floor is yours.
That's right.
Okay. I'm just going to fire them out there because actually, when I said a few more, I actually have a lot. Okay. Our main German blondie, long-haired blondie, I want blood. He is actually a professional ballet dancer.
Whoa.
Yeah. And the only other movie I had really seen him in was The Money Pit. He's kind of a weenie in that one, but he's in The Money Pit. But he is a professional ballet dancer.
Wow.
This movie was nominated for 4 Academy Awards.
Oh,
really?
Which just kind of blows my mind. Yeah. Sound, film editing, effects, sound effect, editing, and then best effects, visual effects. I didn't know if any of them won, but it was at least nominated for 4.
Dang.
Wow.
And then I listened to your guys' Ready or Not with Liz in a movie, and she talked about how she had 7 different dresses in that. And so I thought I would snag a clothing fact inspired by Liz. Bruce Willis had 17 tank tops.
17
different
what? Oh my gosh.
No
He's just
way.
muckier and more torn. And then by the end, he's just topless.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So 17. And then let's see. Oh, they were actually inspired for when he swung off the roof on the fire hose. They actually knew this stunt was going to work because of a silent era actor, Harold Lloyd. It's kind of the one when he's hanging from the clock, that one where he's hanging outside the building. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he actually does that and he swings off the building. And so they were we were immediately inspired by Harold Lloyd for this stunt. So it was really fun. And
nice.
And Bruce Willis was really insistent on being the one to jump off the roof. And that's why it doesn't look like a stunt until he's actually swinging and kicking the glass. When he hits the building.
Yeah.
Is when they used a stunt double. But he insisted, he was like, this is my big movie. Because he had just been in that show, Moonlighting. Yeah, and he was a comedian. He was like, if this is my big movie, I'm going and swinging. And he literally did.
Awesome.
So
he actually did.
Yeah, and then
wait, I got it. Hold on one sec.
Good. Hey, lovely, perfect.
It's so good when I have to hold up things and say, wait, hold on 1 second.
Okay, but it's perfect, and I love it. So thank you. My last one is the Nakatomi Building is actually the 20th Century Fox Studios headquarters, which is just so awesome. They were getting complaints because like all the middle floors were actual like lawyers and people working for 20th Century Fox, but it was like the lower lobby areas, and then the upper floors were still under construction, and that's why you see it under construction in the movie, is because that 20th Century Fox building was still under construction, and so they used that. They had to wait and do all the filming after hours because all the lawyers were like, wow, like there's too much explosion and gunshot while I'm working, scram. So yeah, really kind of fun, but you can actually go find the building because it's 20th Century Fox.
There's something awesome. I want to add to that too. I saw. I don't know how accurate. This is definitely a random one. I hope it's accurate. But apparently Ronald Reagan rented a floor space where that movie was filmed, and security found shell casings on those floors, and they raised the like alert level, and they found out it was shell casings from filming of this movie.
From Die Hard. Oh. I love that so much. That's my favorite.
Take that one how you want. I did read that, but I didn't go any farther into that.
That's really good. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that is funny.
I hope it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Ready for some not random ass facts, but some questions.
Let's do that.
Cool. First question of the night. Favorite thing about the movie? All right, guest of the show. Klarissa, what was your favorite thing about one of your favorite movies of all time?
really hard to choose, but I did write down a couple. I really love, so I have favorite thing and then favorite scene. Because I feel I'm struggling to like, is there a moment or just like general thing? So actually there is a little documentary on this movie on Netflix called like in the series, The Movies That Made Us. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. But some of the things, like a lot of my random ass facts are from there. And one of my favorite things is when they talk about the satire in this movie and like adding the comedy. They're like, bring it up a notch, even more. And so there's just so much satire. Like all of the outside cops versus inside cops.
Yes.
And inside cops, I really count Bruce Willis and Al, that's outside. Like his little buddy over the radio. I'm like, those are the two inside cops, and the rest, like Dwayne, the freaking douche, and Johnson and Johnson and whatever. They're so good. But I love that they're all just like a bunch of wimps. Almost, I feel like there's the like comedic moment of the cop pricking his finger on a rose bush. He's like, ow. You notice that when they're going in, he pricks his finger.
I didn't notice that.
And then, like one of the cops, they're like creeping up to the door and they're trying to drill in through the chain. And this cop's like, ow, like pricks his finger on a rose bush. So funny. And then he's like, when Dwayne is like, everyone is covered in glass. And that's when he's like, glass? What? Like, who gives a shit about glass? It's just so good. So I really love the satire and just how douchey they all are. But my favorite scene, like little moment that I point out every time my husband even knows it's coming and he's like, I know it's coming. I'll hear it. I love when he pulls the fire alarm and he goes over to the window and he's like, come on, baby. I'll kiss your fucking Dalmatian.
Come on, baby. Come to Papa. I'll kiss your fucking Dalmatian.
And he does this little ballerina twirl. He like jumps and spins. Favorite part. I just love it. I think it's so funny. It's so Bruce Willis. Like because he's just a goofy guy. And they even said like in this documentary, they're like, he just was such a smart aleck and he needed to tone it down, but he just couldn't because that's just who he is. And so I was like, this little spin is so Bruce Willis. So that's my favorite scene.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I actually saw that a lot of this, they had to rework a lot of scenes and stuff, so there's actually a lot of ad-lib lines from Bruce Willis into this movie. So that's kind of makes it even more goofy.
I love that.
No, that's cool.
Like more Bruce, it's more Bruce Willis character.
Yeah, right. And I haven't seen that. What is it called? What Made Us in the movie, or
Movies That Made Us?
Yeah, the movies that made us. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those because there was like a Back to the Future one and a Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to the Die Hard, so now I got to watch that. I'm glad you reminded me. Awesome.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice. Kevin, what was your favorite thing?
Mine was actually very similar to Clarissa's. I like the relationship actually between Al and John.
Mm-hmm.
And just like right off the bat, Al knew that he was a cop just from his lingo and all that, and he's trying to convince
I love
everybody
that.
like, hey, we need to listen to this guy, and he doesn't. And then just the conversations between the radio, but before they even meet, they already become best friends type of deal. It might sound cheesy, but I really enjoyed that. Like he's like Al's helping John out with like keeping his spirits high, and like everything's going to be good. All this is happening. You got somebody to come home to. You know, you're going to get out of this. In the meantime, he's giving them all the information, and then you get into the personal story, the background of what happened to Al. And I really, really enjoyed that part. Kind of took you away from the action, got a little breather and heartfelt a little bit. Just kind of changed the pace so you're not just heart beating the whole time. But
like Uncut Gems.
Like Uncut Gems. Get a little breather, a little bit of some sort of background on them. And I think it worked out. The way they did it worked really, really well for the movie.
Agreed.
Yeah,
the pacing's
totally
great.
agree.
Definitely.
I'll
Go
jump
ahead,
on that because my first thing was the cheese, and specifically the cheese factor between John and Al. And like that, anytime they talk, it's like the soft music starts playing.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like...
It's their romance.
Yeah,
Who's Holly?
exactly.
Yeah,
It's a buddy cop movie from that aspect, and you're a big buddy cop guy.
Oh, big buddy cop guy.
Both of you guys are.
Then my second thing that I put was just Hans Gruber. He's awesome. I mean, he's awful, but he's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just an awesome villain.
Yes, exactly.
He's tasteful, classy.
Yeah.
He's classy.
Yeah.
High dollar thief.
Yeah.
Real shoot him in the head kind of guy.
Yeah, the benefits of a classical education. Is that what he says?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, benefits of a classical education. Yeah.
So my favorite thing, and it is very difficult to pinpoint a specific part of this, but I think I like how simplistic yet elegant the movie is as a whole. So we were in one setting the entire place, the Nakatomi Plaza, as you guys mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned that fact. Also, shout out to Airheads and Fight Club, also filmed there.
Oh, really?
And, yeah.
No way.
Fight Club, where they're standing in the top at the end, watching the things blow up. That's there.
But wait, hold on.
Wow.
In Airheads, is that the radio station?
That's the radio station, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
I'm assuming
that's awesome.
These are all Fox Century movies, aren't they? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Really
isn't that
stingy with
wild?
the budgets over there.
Right.
Letting the
Use
Lone
their own
Rangers
really
play in
tall
there. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have this one setting for the whole entire movie, yet it's a shoot 'em up action film. And somehow they use every inch to tell that story, right? We have that plot where it kind of unfolds as the movie goes on, kind of drives the movie more than the action does. Like the action's amazing, but it's really takes a side or a backstory to what him and Hans, him being John McClane, him and Hans going back and forth. And I really like how this big picture comes all together in one setting, one place, and it doesn't have to be this crazy like in Speed where there's all these crazy things going on, or any of these action movies that we watched in the 80s where it's like one insane thing after another and you're just following some badass guy around. And in this case, it's again, every inch, like he's in the ductwork. He's using the fire hose to climb or fall back into the building. Like they use every inch of that building. And so I just like how those little details progress the plot. And also I just like how this is an action movie without it being shoved in your face like a lot of those. And I do like and appreciate all the Rambos and the aliens. But this one, it doesn't feel as forced, if that makes sense. It's almost like it's him. And I know Rambo is like, oh, he only attacks when somebody attacks him. Like, he is not a bad guy. But like, I feel like this time it was almost just as a necessity. It wasn't like he was going out of his way at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he tries. I mean, he does try
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
save them. I think a lot of people kind of die by accident.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, now I know this will be more challenging. Least favorite thing about the movie. All right, Klarissa, back to you.
Okay.
And Eric.
I actually have two,
Ooh.
which is weird for one of my favorite movies. I feel like there's a little bit of a challenge in their plan. And sometimes I will rewatch this movie and I don't really buy it. Hans Gruber's like, they're a part of the plan. The FBI is part of the plan. But like, they get super pissed that he pulls the fire alarm. They get super pissed that he's on the roof, hollering to the police.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, the police are part of this plan.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, what? No, they're not. No, they're freaking not, man. Just own it. Like,
Yeah.
But whatever, it did work out with the Volt. And I know that the second writer, so the first writer with the refrigerator box drama, he was actually fired. And there was a second writer brought on to the show. And he was writing, like, as they were filming, scene for scene, as things came up. And so that's why, if you ever, like, notice the ambulance that the guy who's opening the safe drives away and an Argyle punches him, it's not in the truck when they're first unloading. You don't see it because they didn't write that in at first. It was in the rewrite. Yeah. Wow. So they were kind of like rewriting that. And so part of me was like, that's the only time I caught that. And I only noticed the ambulance thing because I watched the documentary. But the rest, like, this was kind of the only thing in the writing where I was like, you know, I'm not a massive thing because at the same time, I do still really love it. And I love that the FBI kind of become a part of it. They're on the roof and, you know, and there goes the helicopter and whatever. Still fun. Bigger than that is my second gripe, and it's so dumb. But I hate Holly's bangs. I think they're the ugliest things. Those bangs are the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life. I fucking hate them. I'm like, why? Why? Every time. I look at them, and I'm like, and she walks in, she's like, John. And I'm like, I just snap. I just want to help her out. But yeah, so that's actually a bigger gripe to me than not writing.
That's awesome. Definitely some late 80s haircuts there. I mean, you can't go wrong with some of those. Eric, what would you have?
My least favorite thing is our ballet dancer guy. How did he get hung by the neck for the, I don't know, the last third of the movie, and then he fucking came back to life and tried to shoot him at the end? Like, no. What? That's all I got.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's a good gripe, though.
Yeah.
I think that's a good gripe.
Yeah, I have something similar. I mean, again, I think it's near perfect from A to B, how it starts, how it finishes. But I really struggle with one aspect or one scene, and it could have ended the movie. And it's when John McClane is not able to detect Han's voice. I know it's he drops the accent, but it's still Alan Rickman's deep voice. Like, that's the exact voice I hear the entire movie. Like, I can barely tell that he's not using an accent at that scene. And I'm like, how does he not notice? He's only been hearing him on the radio, so like he's even more keen to his sound. So that part I cannot get behind. I'm like, if you would see him and you hear him, it's like, okay, shoot him. I don't buy. I don't buy.
True.
Oh, I dropped my accent. I don't know, but that would have been the end of the movie.
Yeah,
That's a fair point. Yeah. It's true.
And it's such a like climatic scene too of the movie, like how it changes everything, and I'm like, oh, I just can't buy it. But that's it.
Yeah.
Kevin, what'd you have?
Mine is more of a character than the movie itself. Harry Ellis. He was such an arrogant asshole.
Yeah, Ellis sucks.
Yeah, I'm glad he died in the movie. And speaking of that, I have a top 5.
Oh,
my gosh.
Play it, Eric. So that's the debut of his
Kevin's
video.
top 5 video.
Love it.
That picture is unreal.
Just a
It's
man
unedited.
that
picture
loves
is
his mower.
That's a real picture. Oh, it's so
Yes.
I believe so.
I felt some authority in that picture.
Yeah.
Just like oozing.
That's so good. All right, what's your top 5?
I have top 5 most deserving deaths in movies.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
So I've got my number 5 is Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
yes.
And then
That's solid.
Hopefully there's no spoilers for Klarissa here.
oh yeah. Number 4 I've got Stuntman Mike in Death Proof.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
number 3 Colin Sullivan is Matt Damon's character in The Departed.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And then Eric's going to love my number 2, but also hate it because it's the guy that kills the dog. His name is Iosif Tarasov in John Wick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
I mean,
that
yeah, of
deserves to
course,
die.
that guy.
And then specifically for this movie and the fictional way it happens is Hitler in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, yeah. Well done. That's so
Yeah,
well
it
done.
was-
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
even-
pretty spectacular.
Even though Harry Ellis didn't make my top 5, but me wishing he died and did die inspired this list.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great. I love the list. Nice.
He was all cocky
list.
too. He's like, tell him
Yeah.
we've known each other forever.
I can give him to you.
Yeah,
Boo.
that whole thing, that pissed me off too, for sure. When he started speaking
Yeah.
up, I'm like, oh, shut the hell up. All right.
Hans, booby.
Yeah.
That's the cringiest. I just hate
It
it.
is
They
cringy.
pour him a Coke, and I just
Yeah.
want to
Oh.
show
Yeah.
him the watch. Oh.
Before we go on though, another person who was awful in the movie, Dwayne. We talked about him earlier, but he sucks.
Yeah.
That guy,
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he is so good at playing an asshole.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
Breakfast Club as well.
exactly.
He's
Yeah,
just so good at it.
Principal.
Gleason.
I don't know.
Not sure. Oh, yeah, that sounds right. I don't know the first name, but yeah. Principal
Yes.
of Breakfast Club. He does.
Yes.
He's such
Yeah.
a good dick. He also.
Well, you know what? Same with the newscaster. He's a dick in
Yeah.
everything.
Oh my
I
gosh,
swear.
yes.
I mean,
He's-
think of
he's-
Real Genius,
and
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
the EPA.
he's just such a douche. He's the
Yeah.
worst. And
Yeah.
like when she punches him at the end, it's just
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's so good. Also, I
Yeah.
noticed one of the FBI guys was from the Goonies. One of the
Yeah.
the Fratelli brothers. That one blew me away. I didn't realize
Oh.
he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Watched
It's been a while
Goonies
for that
so much.
movie for me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. We watched it in June. Go ahead, Kevin.
Something
A funny fact about those guys. It was is it Big Johnson and Little Johnson or something? Or
Yeah.
the
Agent
that's
Johnson
it.
and Johnson.
Hey, Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah,
No relation.
No relation.
no relation. But they actually starred together in a Bond movie.
Oh, really? Which Bond?
And
movie?
it's actually License to Kill right there.
Well,
No
how
way.
about that?
Oh, a Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
I have not seen a lot of Bond, so
Oh,
I won't
there
spoil
we
any
go.
of them, but he played the other he's the Big Johnson, the older one. He actually plays the main villain in that, and then
Okay.
the younger Johnson is actually a good guy and plays
Okay.
against him. And that movie came out, I
Weird.
think, a year before or after this movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a late
he was
80s
late
Bond movie.
80s. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, he's got the Bond wall, if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
That's fun. I was gonna say I see. Is it Timothy Dalton? Is that his name?
Yeah, it's Timothy
Yeah.
Dalton.
Yeah. Okay, I know him from Chuck.
Oh,
But if you guys have
Oh,
seen the
yeah.
show Chuck,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that show. Wow, that's an old one. Dang. That's crazy. All right, next category. Ready? Who won the movie? All right, Kevin, are you going to go for the obvious choice?
I'm going to go for the actor, not the character.
Okay.
Because Bruce Willis, because before this he had some uncredited roles, and he was in a couple TV shows. He was actually in some music videos, and nothing really big until Die Hard, and then his career just skyrocketed after this movie. So I don't know if and within the movie, John McClane won. So I mean, I can't really pick anybody else. Yeah, I'm pretty straightforward on this one.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. Klarissa, what would you say?
I have actually been waiting till the last minute to choose this one because I just love Al so much.
Nice.
And you see him at the end with that final moment of he fires his gun again. And it's like, this really just is one of those things that bolsters his confidence. But it seriously is a tie with John McClane because it also is like, at the end of the day, he's walking out with his wife. And she's using her married name again, and he gets to go home to his kids for Christmas. I'm like, there's so much more emotionally for both of them at stake, and they get to hug and have this beautiful romantic moment between Al and John. And but
it's when they meet for the first time.
It is. But I actually I'm gonna go with Al. He talks about in the documentary too, because he says, he's like, this was my last shot in Hollywood. I've tried for so long, and my mom was supported me. He talks about, he's like, I bought my mom a home and a car, and I spent that money from Die Hard on her for this last year's for believing in me. And so I was like, it's really awesome. Like this was this redemption story for him as a cop of like, he kind of thought that career was over, and then ta-da, it's better for him. And it's the same for that actor. Metaphor. So I'm like, I'm going to choose him, actually.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, and of course he became another cop in his show Family Matters as Carl Winslow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what I remember, obviously, other than this movie as a kid. And he was on Dancing with the Stars this year. Not my favorite dancer, but it was kind of hard to watch. Not gonna lie. But he's a little older.
But...
Yeah. Not good for me, but good for him.
Yeah.
I'll piggyback. I actually had that same argument in my head. I actually put through Al as well. Believe it or not.
Wow, yay.
And because he's the main communicator with John McClane, even though, there's higher authority trying to take over for him. You have all the Johnsons and Johnsons. You have the principal from Breakfast Club. Everybody's trying to take that role from him.
They sent the principal. Oh, no.
Stinkers.
I'm the principal.
Naughty. Yeah.
And so, he took, he was the main guy to work with John. And also, like you said, the end where he gets that redemption of shooting a gun again. I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of police hate out there, but that's not an easy job. I think we can all acknowledge that.
Yeah. Totally.
Not an easy life, not an easy job. And clearly he was regretting what happened. To be able to overcome that and save the day and end the movie the way it did, I had to go with him because I didn't want to go with John McClane because it's too easy. But those are the two people, in my opinion. Yeah. Eric?
Well, I was gonna go with one of those two, but I changed my answer, and I'm gonna say 20th Century Fox because they didn't have to spend shit on locations because they're just like, use our construction levels up there.
Yeah, right.
That's fine.
Look at those winners. Way to go, 20th Century Fox.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah.
You really pulled it through.
It. Way to mix it up.
Need some demolition, blow the shit up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good, and they probably made a lot of money. I didn't actually look up that fact, but I can imagine how much money it's made.
It's
probably the whole franchise.
It's probably a butt.
Yeah, I think it was. Oh yeah, I don't know in the full franchise, but I think as it was in theaters and maybe a little bit after, and it didn't specify, but it was around 140 million.
Yeah.
Around that time.
Not surprising. Yeah,
I guess that's kind of a lot.
A little bit.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It means chump change to me, but
Right. Well, there's multiple lines here, so we'll just go ahead and do it. Favorite line from the movie? Hopefully somebody will say the obvious. Eric, why don't you start us off?
I said, let me read it. They can teach you everything about being a cop except how to live with a mistake.
You know, when you're a rookie, they can teach you everything about being a cop except how to live with a mistake.
Oh,
that was mine.
I'm so sorry.
Line.
It's
don't
so
be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's an amazing line.
It is.
It is.
Chills.
Yeah.
Wow, you went with the serious one, and
I did. I did go with the serious one. We're flipping roles today.
Yeah, that's weird.
Love it.
Klarissa, what about you?
I did bring backups in case because I had a feeling in my gut. I was like, that line is just so good.
Yeah.
So good. I have 2 backups.
Nice.
But I think I really like it when he's over the radio and he says, "No fucking shit, lady." Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
Attention, whoever you are. This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
No fucking shit, lady. Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
That's one of mine.
That was one of mine too. That was one of mine.
So good.
So good.
So funny. And it is that satire. It's just so funny. And
Just so
really,
good.
it's like, come down here and arrest me. Just send the police. But I think like he's got this chaotic energy during that whole moment. And then my second one with that was the come on, baby, come to Papa, I'll kiss your fucking Dalmatian.
Hey, come on, baby, come to Papa, I'll kiss your fucking Dalmatian.
Yeah.
I just think that's so funny. I think it's so funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
those are my 2.
Nice.
The ordering pizza was more. Yeah, that one's so. Oh my
So
god,
good.
it's so good. Kevin, what'd you have?
I have, it's a little back and forth of, you listen to me, you little asshole. Asshole? I'm not the one who just got butt fucked on national TV, Dwayne.
You listen to me, you little asshole. I'm a
Asshole. I'm not the one who just got butt fucked on national TV, Dwayne.
Now you listen to me, jerk off. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
Now you listen to me, jerk off. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
That's awesome.
Just perfect. Just wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, and Argyle listening to that line.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Argyle rules. Like, low key is
Yeah.
one of my favorite characters in that movie.
So funny.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. I had, and so this is when he's huddled in one of the air vents and he kind of recalls what his wife's invitation was. And I think we can relate since we're all married here. Sometimes these thoughts come in your head, but it's come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
come on. Like, he's like, oh, I can't
Talking to
believe I got-
himself and just
Yeah.
being sarcastic.
Right, I can't believe
Yeah.
I got into this situation. Thanks, wife.
Right? He's like all crammed with a little lighter too, and he's
Yeah.
that's what he's using his breath on. It's not just like
Right.
like crawling. It's like come out to the coast, have a few laughs. Yeah,
I'm just like,
Great
oh
line.
man, I've been out there if I'm shoveling snow or something.
Move
yeah.
to Cleveland, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
The ice.
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And then a couple other ones. I mean, now since we usually name one or two, then we can kind of go back if there's any ones that we haven't mentioned. One of the ones I liked was, now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, so good.
I actually
Yes.
So good.
have an FBI guy interaction, the Johnsons. Just like fucking Saigon. Hey, Slick, I was in junior high, dickhead.
Right.
It's like fucking Saigon! Hey, Slick!
I was in junior high, dickhead.
So good.
Nice.
So good.
And then, of course, the most iconic,
Yes.
and it's hard not to address it, is the Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
can't.
Well, and when Hans says it at the end, right by the window, and he says it with a little, a motherfucker. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
just, like, he says it with this little different rhythm, and it's like, okay.
Doesn't he say,
Yeah.
like,
You got
what did you say, cowboy, or something like
Yeah.
that right before?
Yeah, what'd you say?
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, Roy, because he says Roy Rogers. When I was a kid and I
Yeah.
first saw it, I did not know who Roy Rogers was, so
Yeah.
it's funny rewatching some of these, and you get more
Yeah.
and more of the references.
yeah.
But that line, the Yippee-ki-yay, is such an iconic line. It's probably one of the most well-known action lines, movie lines of all time. I mean, it is definitely up there in what people remember from this movie. So shout out to that, and there's so many good lines.
Do they use that in all of the other ones?
That's a good question. I don't
know. I know they used it in at least the fourth one. I remember that, or like most of the line.
Live hard, or what is it? Die hard.
Live free, die hard.
Live free, die hard. Yeah,
the one where he ramps a truck into a jet.
That's that one, right?
Okay, yeah, that one.
I think that
goes into a helicopter.
Guys, I've been too afraid to see them. This is actually the ones I haven't seen because I was like, I just love the first so much. I've been scared because sometimes they're just so shitty. Like I just watch stuff and I'm like, oh no.
Live Free or Die Hard I like that one a lot. And what is it? 2's really good, right? That's with Samuel L. Jackson.
Is that the one in the airport? No, I think that's the third. The second one is in the airport. I've seen pieces of the second one. I own them all on DVD, but I haven't seen them.
The second one
DVD.
The second one is incredibly cheesy. Like up the cheese factor from the first one,
and then
and that's what you get.
Okay, lovely. And then the next one we bring in Samuel, and it's kind of more serious.
Yeah. That one's a good one. I like that one a lot.
That's what I remember. Okay. It's been way too long.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch those because I don't remember.
I want to see that as a dynamic. I mean, I've heard really good things. I've just been a baby that didn't know all that.
I can understand.
That's understandable.
Sure. Yeah, if you love one of the first one of a movie, it's hard.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, we got 2 left. We got our podium categories. First, we got, is this a podium role for any of the top billed cast members? Now, there's only 2 main cast members. We kind of talked about Carl Winslow. I can't even remember his actual name.
Reginald Bell Johnson.
Oh, that's it. Good call. But so
I've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine a lot, and
is he in that?
There's a lot of Die Hard references in that show.
A lot of Die Hard references. I think Michael Schur just really loves Die Hard because he mentions it in The Office and in Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay, so, yeah.
Respect to that. I love Michael Schur, so I was like, I think we'd be friends.
Yeah, probably.
Awesome. So first we have Bruce Willis. I said yes.
Yeah,
everybody. I mean.
I
can't see.
I mean, this is his role.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, throughout this entire series, he is the only John McClane. Hopefully, he will be. And this is his role. Other ones that I threw out there, The Sixth Sense. I think he does an amazing job.
That's what I put my number 2.
Yeah, especially the first time you see it, you don't know what twists are coming. He sells all of that so well. So I had that, and then I was
number 2
with my 3. Go ahead, Eric.
Number 2 is Corbin Dallas. That's like right up there with number 1 in The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah, I kind of had a feeling you would say that, and I thought about that too. And then also Unbreakable comes to mind as one of my favorites. He's so good in that. Like he has such a good demeanor in that in terms of like being like not knowing how capable he is, and he displays it so well in his acting. What are some other ones? Pulp Fiction comes to mind, of course.
Pulp Fiction was my number 3, and it was mainly because it's such a large cast that it can't be his top role. Like he's not the guy, but that's my favorite movie with him in it. But it's not his best role.
Yeah, I would agree.
My other one, and honestly, this is kind of a comfort movie for me. I'll turn it on like after a really long day, but I love Red. I love Red.
Haven't seen Red.
I love the Red movies. Red. The first one is way better than the second for sure, but Red is just so fun. He has a really calm demeanor to him because he's retired extremely dangerous.
Okay.
But I feel like he just, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. He holds himself so well. And the whole thing is like he kind of has this girl he likes and he has to like basically kidnap her. And so she's like not really sold on this whole thing. Anyway, it's really funny, but he has this whole like, yes, I am a badass, but I am tired and I care about you. And like he's like this emotional guy, takes care of an avocado plant, and like, it's really
awesome.
funny. So I really enjoy that role from him. But
cool.
Sixth Sense and Unbreakable are also favorites of mine.
Nice.
So
I haven't
Is
seen
Red the one? Is Red the one where like he's driving a car and then it twists and then he just like steps out of the car?
Steps out.
Yeah, that
Yes.
I remember that from
So
the trailer.
nonchalantly.
Yeah.
So nonchalantly.
Is the girl from Weeds in that? Is she the main girl?
I haven't seen Weeds. She's the mom in Spiderwick. If you ever saw that random Spiderwick movie, she's in that.
Dang, I can't remember the name of the actress. I think we're talking about the same person. I'm not sure.
Like really skinny, long nose.
Yeah.
Like thin black hair actress.
Yeah,
Weird description, but
yeah.
yes.
No, I think.
Yes,
her.
thin nose, black hair.
Yes,
Yep,
the
I know.
actress with
I
the
know.
nose. Yeah.
Let's ask Google.
Yeah, that's always easy too.
Just find out.
She's got a 3-name, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay. See, we're all on the same page here.
It's like
'cause
Sarah
Mary Louise
Marie-
Parker.
Mary
That's it.
Louise.
Yeah.
That's the girl from
Yeah,
Weeds.
she's
And-
really funny.
she's
I like
awesome.
her.
Me too. She's
Yeah.
in Fried Green Tomatoes, which is one of my comfort movies as a kid. Because my mom made me watch it. Yeah.
I think that's so fun. Yeah.
All right. The other actor that I think's worth noting is Hans Gruber or Alan Rickman. And I said yes.
Yeah, I say yes.
I put yes as well.
Now I'd say it's probably his second best role to Professor Snape, right?
Yeah.
He was Professor Snape?
Really?
What?
Can you believe
Spoiler.
No. Yeah, spoiler.
And then after that, I struggled with a third because there are a lot of good movies where he's the side role, like you mentioned, Love Actually. Also, Klarissa, you mentioned Sheriff of Nottingham and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That was my 3.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the ones that stick out to me, other than the 2 main ones.
Yeah, for me, I really, and also I grew up with both a mom and a dad who love time period movies. My dad is such a sucker for Pride and Prejudice, and I love that about
that's
him.
my mom, for
but
sure.
but we love Sense and Sensibility.
Oh, yeah.
And he is Colonel Brandon. This is the one role I know him in as a good guy, and he is actually really, really great. So
nice.
he does a great job. I really liked him in like a period piece setting. And honestly, as a good guy, like Colonel Brandon in that movie is just such a stand-up, selfless person. And I think that was one role for Alan Rickman that really showed some diversity, but no one really knows him from that movie.
Yeah.
Wild, right?
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. That's something different. Yeah, I actually don't remember. I mean, I've seen that movie, but I was young. I haven't seen it since. So that's funny. I did see that on his IMDb, and I was like, I don't remember him in that. So that's funny you say that.
That's another comfort movie.
Nice.
I love that movie.
Nice. I love how, I mean, we all have
Pride and Prejudice movies. Pride and Prejudice is one of Julie's like top comfort movies, or like top movie in general. So I've seen it a lot.
Yeah. The Keira Knightley or the 90s BBC?
The Keira Knightley one.
Keira Knightley. I was going to say BBC is like 6.5 hours, but it is Colin Firth.
Only.
That's my favorite.
Oh my god.
I needed a lot of comfort at that time. But,
is it weird that go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's Colin Firth as Darcy.
Oh yeah,
so
of course.
Okay.
He's really fun. But what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say, is it weird? One of my comfort movies is Atonement. It's not really a comfort movie.
Yeah,
I think that's fun.
It's a real happy movie.
That's weird. No, I get it. I really do.
It's that same vibe, just a little different towards the vibe.
There was one night.
Well, I love La La Land, but sadly.
love La La Land.
There was one night that Julie and I were like, "Oh, let's watch a movie." And I was like, "Let's watch something light." And she's like, "Okay, yeah. What about Atonement? Like, I've been wanting to see that." And so we watched Atonement, and now that's our joke about let's watch something light, or like if we need a breather from something, like let's just go watch Atonement.
Do you want to watch Schindler's List afterwards? Like,
just ask me or Kevin about a light movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. let's get down to it. Now I know this has been a very challenging one, but we are going to ask a very tough question. Does Die Hard make the all-time 80s action movie podium? This is a tough one, and I know we've been doing some homework. Klarissa has been watching movies all week. I'm excited to hear what she's got to say. Let's hear your top 3.
Oh my gosh, you guys, the amount of anxiety this gives me. And I even messaged you guys and I was like, how do you do this?
Sometimes it's easy, like I said. Sometimes like this, not easy.
Yeah. I did not really grow up with 80s action movies. And so this week has been full of me watching these for the first time. I had never seen Aliens. I'd never seen First Blood. I saw like bits and pieces of Predator, but did not really understand that plot line. I'd never seen RoboCop. Didn't know anything about it. What else did I watch? I watched both Temple of Doom and Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. And I watched, oh my gosh. I'm blanking because I feel like I watched 1,000,001,001 movies this week. But,
you mentioned Red Dawn. Red Dawn.
Yes, I watched Red Dawn.
Oh boy.
That was not very notable to me, honestly. A strong start really drew me in. I'm like, okay, you're gonna shoot up school.
Yeah. In the first like 5 minutes, the principal's dead, and I'm like, oh man.
Oh my gosh.
And then it actually went downhill. If that's
Seriously.
weird to say.
Yes, it did.
I mean, that
really
seems
did.
like pretty much the only place it could go. After you described it to me like that, I've not seen it.
It's not worth it. But so I actually have a question. And I feel like this will help me. Are we counting like action sci-fi or just like purely action? Because that changes my opinion. I have 2.
I think action sci-fi works.
I think action sci-fi works. I also thought of it that way. So I think. I mean, if it has a lot of action in it, then I think it's an action movie. So action sci-fi, totally cool. So I know where
you can interpret it however you want to. Yeah.
Okay.
It's your list.
All right.
It's your list.
It is your list.
Okay, because I made a list. Yeah, I have a list that is just action movies, and then I have a list that is that includes the sci-fi genre. So I'll actually say both, but I will stick with my purely action. So Die Hard is number 1 for both. Oh.
What a surprise!
Blow my own mind. So I have 4 sci-fi, including sci-fi. Die Hard's still number 1, not sci-fi, but Aliens is my second.
Okay.
And then actually The Thing is my third.
Oh,
I
really?
love this movie so much. Yep. It sticks with me. I mean, this was one where I was like, okay, Colin, to my husband, I'm like, I know. I made a movie, can't talk about movies to every other person on this planet, but we're watching The Thing, and we can watch it together. It's so good. So The Thing is my third, but I'm going to stick with my
rewatch. It's been a long time since I've watched it.
John Carpenter, Kurt Russell. It's great.
Yeah. Kurt Russell is incredible in that movie. I mean, I am thinking of like Sky High with Kurt Russell for a reason. That's like my first Kurt Russell that comes to mind. And so seeing him in this, I was just like, yes, Kurt Russell. So anyway, but my action podium is Die Hard.
Nice.
Rambo First Blood. I haven't stopped thinking about it since I watched it at 8 this morning. Really got that in under the wire.
Oh my God.
That's how you started your day today?
This morning. Yes, awesome. It is. I just was like, I think I'll eat some breakfast and start Rambo.
Yeah. At 8 a.m., we were all sleeping at my house, actually, this morning. All 3 of us were at my house at 8 a.m. sleeping.
Wow, really?
That's
where they were. Why?
They came up and hung out.
We just hung out.
Oh, fun. I love it. Yeah. Well, shame on you for not watching Rambo at 8 o'clock this morning. But I think I really wanted to rank this by movies that have just like, I want to rewatch that right away. I just want to hit watch again, like immediately, because it's just so good. And with that said, my third is actually Roadhouse. I love Roadhouse. I love Roadhouse. And I think the pattern I see with these three, to me, is like an amazing action movie with a lot of special effects for a very small storyline. Yeah. They're very small storylines. Like, Die Hard's in one building. Rambo's just one guy in the woods because the cops were like, like the cops just were like, guess what? I hate you just to hate you, which really pisses me off. But then Roadhouse is like all about a club and like a town, and they're so story and character driven. And to me, I'm so invested. I struggled a lot, and I think I like Predator. Talking about Predator, I just didn't know anything about any of them. There's no background, and so for me, I was like. Great movie, a lot of awesome practical effects, which I'm such a sucker for. But these movies have stayed with me so much because I love the storyline, and they do just escalate so beautifully.
Oh yeah. No, that's well done, and I'm glad you made the list because I struggled with the action sci-fi thing too. So we'll see how that plays out. Kevin, why don't you give us yours?
I really struggled with this one.
I know.
Because, well, you guys know I'm a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan.
Yes, you are.
Like, I've watched every single one of his movies.
You made us watch Red Heat.
Yeah, and that's his worst. That's like his worst of the 80s. So
I know. We had to watch it.
Wow.
So I took away till it wasn't all Arnold. But you did mention one. You did mention one, Klarissa. I put RoboCop at my number 3.
Nice.
So good.
I do like that. I love that movie. I've watched that movie quite a bit. I actually watched that quite a bit when I was probably too young to watch it. But, actually, probably for all of these movies. But, my number 2 is actually Die Hard.
Nice.
It did get in there, and I was thinking about it more and more. I'm like, those two movies are better than other Arnold movies. But my number 1 is definitely The Terminator.
Nice.
That movie it's ingrained in my head. I do like the sequel better, but it came out in the 90s, so it doesn't count. But the original Terminator is just, I think,
awesome.
It might be a top 10 favorite action movie of mine of all time. But Terminator 2 even being better than that in that top 10 list. That series with Arnold in that time frame is amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I knew
Arnold
was coming.
That's a great list.
I wasn't sure which Arnold movie, but makes sense. I'm glad you went with
I mean,
that
you have The Running Man in there. You have Total Recall in there. I mean,
Total Recall.
It's so hard to...
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh.
I wanted to sneak Judge Dredd in there, too. But...
Yeah.
What was it?
RoboCop rules.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was one. I mean, I was crying, which I was, to be honest, I cry all the time. I'm just that kid. Well, I'll be real. But I really was like, I just feel so bad for him. And then I'm like, when he smiles at the end as a robot, I was like, yes, RoboCop, way to go. So I say that would be 4 on mine, but great choice, yeah.
Eric?
So... I'll add in Commando. I watched that for the first time this week. And
yes, it's another Arnold movie.
It's another Arnold movie, and it is summed up by him jumping from a plane that is taking off. He jumps from the wheel of the plane while it's taking off into like a marshland of like waist high water, and he's fine. He just gets right up and runs away. And so when I saw that, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is what I'm in for, and I'm down. I'm down.
I don't want to mention when he gets into the arsenal and he just pretty much carries an arsenal with him onto an island.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
rocket launcher, grenades, whatever you want, he's got it.
But that was later in the movie. The plane thing was close to the front of the movie.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that movie's ridiculous. So that's an outside looking in. I would also like to say that I want to mention Lethal Weapon, because when we did this, or when we came up with this podium, I immediately thought of Lethal Weapon.
Yep.
Really like those movies. Or I remember liking them. It's been so long since I've seen them. So number 3 is Indiana Jones Last Crusade. Just under the wire because it's 89.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when
you
I
got
think
some Sean Connery in there.
Yep. I knew you'd like it. When I think of Indiana Jones, I think of this movie because it was the first one I saw from that. And we had it on, like, my parents.
Me too.
Yeah, my parents taped it on VHS when I was a kid, and so I would watch that. Number 2 is Die Hard. I had Die Hard number 2 as well.
Number 2.
Nice.
So the answer is yes, it does make my podium.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
And then number 1 is Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, nice. I know you love that movie.
I really love that movie.
I'm pretty sure it's been on multiple top 3s for you.
It probably has. It probably has. It's so ridiculous, and I love it.
The banana pipe
That's fun,
scene.
though.
So good.
We're not going to fall for no banana in the tailpipe.
So good.
I haven't seen it, but I'm adding it to the list.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
yeah. It's Eddie Murphy doing wacky
Eddie Murphy
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sold.
So, yeah.
I also, Lethal Weapon, I did not get to, but it was on my list.
Yeah.
So that will probably be a one I watched this week because I really wanted to get to it. I didn't watch a single Mel Gibson. It's Mel Gibson, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch a single Mel Gibson, during this time, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
like
Mad
I really want
Max.
to put that in there, but
Mad Max
I did
is
not like
another
the
good
first
one.
Mad Max,
No,
honestly.
I'm
but
with
the
you.
second one I've heard
common.
is good.
Second one's
Yeah.
good.
Well, I live in a small town, and to me, it looked like he was just driving in my town, like having a chase scene, and I was like, I could go relive Mad Max right now on my way home from work.
I saw that. I saw that short earlier. I can't remember what day, and you went up to your front window and you just went out through the window, and it was just the Mad Max scene.
I was like, this isn't. Here it is.
Hilarious.
Me and my Accord. Just skirting.
Just spray paint that and put a drum set on top of it with flames on it, and you'll be good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're like, this is the apocalypse, or this is we're out of gas here. Guess what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'll finish this up and answer yes. It did make my podium as well. So all 4 a sweep. We don't always get a sweep, so nice. In fact, it's been a while, I feel like, since we've had
I think it has been. Wait, hold on. What has it been?
It's been a while.
I was a little delayed. It works better when I say, hold on, everyone, stop. Let me do this.
I think for me at least, I think it's one of the best action movies of all time. Maybe only to Terminator 2. According to IMDb, it's the only one above or below Terminator 2. My outside looking in that hasn't been mentioned is Escape from New York with Kurt Russell.
Okay,
Great movie. John Carpenter, another kind of like The Thing. It's got those same dark, eerie vibes. Awesome, badass movie. Definitely check that one out. That one's kind of
I will.
Yeah, it's under the radar, but it's Escape from New York. So cool. And if you've ever played Metal Gear Solid or know of Metal Gear Solid, the video game, they basically ripped off Snake Plissken and just took him as their main character. And you mentioned, Klarissa, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. That's actually my favorite Indiana Jones movie. And
nice.
I there's so many iconic scenes and things to think about, but action-wise, I was like, I can't say it's a better action movie than these other ones, so I didn't keep it on there. And the other one I wanted to mention that I watched literally. So these guys went to bed last night, and I was like, I want to watch Top Gun, see if Top Gun's gonna make my list.
Yes.
So I watched Top Gun at like midnight last night, and I think it's a great movie. But I think it's more of a blockbuster than it is an action movie. Like, there's more of the love story with him and the girl, the lawyer, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, this isn't an action movie. Like, they do some flight scenes and stuff, but there's not fighting and violence and the cool parts, I guess. So I couldn't do that. So I left that out as well. So my number 3 actually is Roadhouse.
Okay.
absolutely
Roadhouse.
I grew up watching Roadhouse and Dalton, and just him being a badass bouncer. I mean, just could not get much better than that. Fighting people, just rednecks. I mean, just he was always on CMT growing up. Like,
that's fun.
So
that's
such
channel.
Awesome. Yeah,
probably.
Good.
Yeah, probably. Now this is my number 2 is kind of a struggle. I don't know if I'll allow it because it's my list.
There you go.
But it's sci-fi and some action. But I went with Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, yeah.
Because the action scenes on Hoth at the beginning are really awesome. You have the Vader and Luke confrontation at the end. That's really cool. So there's a lot of cool action scenes in that movie. Yes, it's more sci-fi, but the lightsaber scenes, I mean, you've got plenty of action scenes in it. And so, growing up, the movie ruled from an action standpoint for me. So, sorry, Rambo, I didn't put you on the list, but I do love Rambo.
It'll be okay.
It was like midnight when I watched it, not a.m. Still kind of a weird time to watch the Rambo.
Yeah.
And then my number 1 is With a Bullet, literally, Die Hard.
Yep.
Nice.
We did it.
We did it. I mean, it couldn't be. Yeah. It doesn't get much better. Like, it again, as I mentioned, it's not just an action movie, but it has a real plot. It keeps you entertained the whole time. Like, that's one of the best parts about an action movie is not just the crazy blow up scenes, but how it ties together with the dialogue and the funny and the cheese. And when it's all gels like that, it doesn't get much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think they took the pacing, like the way that it was written, and honestly, surprisingly, having it written as they go, it paces itself so well to have those heartfelt moments, the character development moments, as well as action and fighting and blowing up, but also comedy. Like, it evenly distributes everything so nicely that you're right. Like, it can be a pretty long movie depending on who you're watching it with. If they're being like a big baby about it, I don't know. Sometimes that feels long, but this movie doesn't ever really feel that way because it's just what's next? What's next? Where are the detonators? Where are the choppers? Where's Holly?
Yeah. It's when Holly and her bangs.
I actually saw something about this. This movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's actually I didn't think it was that long while watching it. Like,
it
doesn't feel that way.
But it's actually the longest out of any of the diehards in the series.
Really?
The first one.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Worth it.
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm a fan.
Definitely. Well, thanks a lot, Klarissa, for coming on. We had such a blast. We were really excited. What a hard topic to tackle. 80s action films. There's so many good ones.
I left James Bond off of it completely.
That is surprising.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Like, does it count?
I was surprised.
They're not really straight
Kevin,
action.
I don't know you well, but I found out tonight that you love James Bond. I was a little surprised.
You could
that
say
it wasn't
that.
in there, but you had some really great choices. So yeah. But seriously, I can't thank you guys enough. Again, I'm a fan, and this was so fun. And honestly, what a great movie to talk about. So thank you again.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep doing research on these 80s action movies because I want that
So
sort of movie.
I mean, it's such a fun style.
Mindless action is what I need.
So good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And where can everybody find you? I know I mentioned it earlier, but if you want to talk, a little plug or whatever you want.
Oh, deal. Okay. I'm mostly on Instagram. I'm actually basically now solely on Instagram. I am like hit or miss TikTok, but does that exist? Does it not exist?
Stay tuned.
I'm also I've never really been a fan of TikTok, so don't count on me there. But It's just so yeah, okay, good. I really prefer Instagram, so I'm just at I've seen that one on Instagram. My name is Movies in Bold, which is actually kind of a big joke to a lot of people, but movies. So that's me.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, everybody who's listening, follow along with her journey. It's awesome to watch and such a cool idea. Again, there's a million movies and none of us have seen them all. Let's be real. Movie buff or not, nobody's an actual movie buff. There's so many movies out there that are great that we haven't seen yet, and it's so fun to see that. So really cool idea.
Thank you. And thanks for contributing to that journey with 80s action films.
Yeah, there we go. Absolutely.
You are so welcome.
Yeah. I genuinely, this was so fun. I loved it.
There's definitely more to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Throw on my way. Honestly, throw on my way.
Yeah, go down the Arnold.
You for Bond. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go down the Arnold list and go down the Bond list, and there you go.
Skip
That's all
Red
you need.
Heat.
You can skip Red Heat or just watch our episode, and then you'll get the vibe.
You don't need to watch the episode. We just talk about Red Heat and how bad it is.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, we let everybody pick their movie for their pick a movie for their birthday, and so that was Kevin's troll event. Was that he was going to pick that movie for his birthday? Like everybody picks their favorite movie. Kevin did not pick his favorite movie or one of his favorite movies.
He picked Kevin picked a movie that he was like, well, I knew we weren't going to do it unless I picked it. There's a reason why we weren't going to do we Kevin.
Yes. Just wait until March again.
Yeah. Oh man, just wait till March.
We were driving home. Kevin said that he's going to make us watch Red Heat again. For his birthday.
Just for like some chaotic evil in there. I'm gonna make you. Love it.
The Ides of March are upon us. Oh, great. Can't wait. All right, well, thanks for tuning in to our show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platforms for clips, updates, and opportunities to vote on a movie you watch. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.